So we are in Murcia in Spain with Lasca from Viña, Enebro, and it is a Monastrell, which is interesting, and it's 14.5%. So those two things to me, when I would see this bottle, would say, ooh, this bottle gonna be intense. But this wine will actually, I think, shock and delight you that it is not quite as intense as you might expect. But we won't get too far into that yet. The color, I will say, is deep, dark, and broody. It's 2019, so it has a couple years on it. And on the top, we get, it's like, sorry, I'm a little bit sick. It's like currants are jumping out, blackberries, plums, like deep, darker fruits, dark, did I say plum already? Yeah, dark cherries. It has the intensity that you would expect from a Monastrell. It also has earthy notes to it, like leaves and isn't like in a good way, like a forest floor, which really just kind of means like dirt covered in leaves. But again, in the nicest way. There is a little bit of like an herbal note to it as well, almost like, I don't know which one, maybe rosemary or some of these, something like whatever like the aromatics are, you know, that like you throw into like when you stuff a chicken, kind of like that. Like, is it sage? What's the fluffy one? Whatever, I think it's sage. Yeah, that one. Let's try it. All right. So this is why it's so interesting, because it is tannic. Like it's more like medium tannin, but I would say the body is like, I'm not gonna say light. It's like on the low medium side. And what you're expecting is like some big bold tannin bomb. If someone told me that it was a 2019 Monastrell with 14+% alcohol, so that like lighter body is what's really striking me here, and it makes it really interesting because it kind of like pulls back from what could just be like a really intense wine experience. And it actually allows, I feel like, the lighter notes of the wine to shine through more on the palate. So let me drink it again to speak to that more. So yeah, definitely very drying because it is certainly still has that tannin there, but like it's almost like mushroomy. Blackberries, raspberry, no, not so much. What's the other one? Blueberries, like everything like on the deep side, like the darker fruits is still there. That is very fruit forward. I'm not getting as much, you know, it's not oaked or anything like that, which is another reason that it's probably also has this lighter touch to it. But yeah, so it's really interesting. It makes it honestly like a little bit tricky while also really perfect and interesting to pair. So I like the idea of this with like a burger that's covered in like a big old piece of cheddar cheese, or honestly, we're in Spain, so maybe a piece of Manchego. If I was vegetarian drinking this, I would like the idea of like stuffed mushrooms, something that's gonna kind of match that mushroominess to it. Stews, if you're doing like winter stews, it has enough heft to still go with those stews, even though it is lighter in body. Honestly, I think that would kind of make it a nicer experience, right? Like the tannins gonna match up with it, but then the body's lighter. So yeah, it can go with pretty much all of your meats, which is rare in the natural wine space. So I hope you enjoy.